Hello and welcome to this very interesting test, well I think it is anyway, as we're pitting against the RTX 3090 against the 6900 XT. Now for this test we're using an AMD Ryzen 9 5900X and here we go. This is the left side of the screen, you can see here, that's the AMD and we've got the RTX 3090 on the right. Now please remind me never to do a test like this ever again. I now feel really sorry for the likes of Mark from the Sim Hanger, by the way, great channel, who does really great tests like this. Now I've tried to keep things, as similar as possible. You can see here the weather, location, aircraft, everything's the same. I'm using both the latest drivers of each card and the settings as well, which I will put on the screen now. That is what I'm using for both systems, and I've even tried to make sure the temperature in the room that I'm using is similar as well. Now just to let you know that this PC I'm using is by a fantastic company called Stormforce. Now I'm not affiliated with them, I don't get any money off them at all, I'm saying this completely off my own back, but I absolutely recommend if you are from the UK. I'm not sure if they ship into Europe or beyond, but those computers are absolutely fantastic and I bought my very own Intel system from them. I do have a discount code actually at the moment. I'll put that on the screen now. That will give you a very nice amount off a new computer. Someone was very pleased with their new computer recently actually from Stormforce. I think they saved about £200. Anyway, this test is really interesting. This is London City and of course we're coming into land here. This is the Piper Warrior. Love this aircraft, guys, from Just Flight. And you know what? I can't believe it, but the AMD system with the 6900 XT is, well, it's very close, but it does edge it on frames. This is quite remarkable, and the frame timing also seems quite similar as well. I have to say though, frame rate only tells half the story. When I've been in VR, and of course I am VR a lot, I actually can definitely tell that the RTX 3090 is a lot smoother. Don't ask me why. In fact, maybe some of you guys can let me know in the comments, some of you technical gurus out there that know far more about this than me, but the smoothness is absolutely so much better with the Nvidia card, even though, as you can see here, the AMD GPU seems to be up by about 2 to 3 frames per second. Interesting. Right, now we're going to go full on airliner, or at least as airlinery as I get. This is the CRJ, the Aerosoft, beautiful rendition of the CRJ, and I've got to say, I do love this aircraft. And, it's got a pretty decent amount of systems depth. As you can see here, we're just going to head over New York, same settings, weather, everything else as usual. And look at this. The AMD is actually soaring ahead at this point, which actually I did not expect. Now, as I say, in VR, when you're actually inside this Reverb G2, as we're using today, it does feel smoother, weirdly, in the 3090. But hey, frame rate's telling a different story here. As you can see, we are really it's close, but the AMD is definitely edging it. Right, let's have a look here. We're now going to go nice and low. You're going to hear the automated sort of warnings of the CRJ kicking in a minute. It's bitchin' Betty, as they call it. We're going to go nice and low over the city. It's full on photogrammetry as well, guys. Okay, so remember that. And I think being nice and low really shows, hopefully, any performance issues. You can see there, actually, I've got the tablet off on the AMD, so hopefully that's not going to cause too much of a discrepancy between the results. And of course I'm not flying exactly in the same location here. I am now, but there's a few times where it doesn't sync up very well. But I'm not going to spend my entire life doing that. Here we go. We're about to go over the Statue of Liberty. 40 frames per second for the AMD, and with the RTX 3090 in the same computer, it's 36, 37. Oh no, actually, yeah, it's dropped again. It's very difficult, guys, to really gauge the difference, but I do feel that the AMD is actually winning here. Now, interestingly, I've got to say, I've done these same tests. I won't bore you with those on the screen. I've done the same test in the Intel. In fact, I've got that actually. I have got that test on the channel. So I'll send a link in the description below somewhere. I'll put that so you can view that at your leisure. But I'm actually getting far better performance than both of these scenarios with the AMD with my Intel. Now, I was expecting the Ryzen 9 to soar ahead over the Intel, but it seems that is not the case at all. Actually, my 10900K system, run the RTX 3090, seems to beat both of these tests. Now, this is the big one, guys, actually, because we're now running the Reverb G2 at full native resolution. Before, I was using my usual settings, which is 70% in OpenXR and 100% in the sim itself, using the render scale. This is full native resolution, and as you can see, spectacularly actually, that the 6900 XT cannot handle high resolution VR. It starts to struggle, like I am talking, when it goes 4K, alright? So that is absolutely interesting, and I didn't expect it to struggle as much as this. But my goodness me, even the mirror there is showing just how awful it was. And actually, in the end, not long after this, it completely crashed, the whole system. It was, yeah, pretty bad. So I do think that the 6900 XT works exceptionally well until you start to reach the dizzying heights of, say, the Reverb G2 resolution, and that will only bode badly as well for, say, the Pimax 8KX and the Vario VR3, and even, you know, like the Vive as well. But anyway, to make matters even worse for the 6900 XT, we're now going to try motion reprojection on. Okay, here we go. Drum roll, please. Right, so this is our final sort of test here. Now, again, with motion reprojection on, the 6900 XT cannot handle it. In fact, I was getting flickering in the right eye of the Reverb. It seems to just not be able to, you know, give you that consistent frames. Whether the RTX 3090 seems to be able to work much better with sort of motion reprojection, and for me personally, I'm a huge fan of that because it gives that, you know, that perception of 90 frames per second. And for the last test, guys, I thought I'd actually just quickly show you both systems in 2D mode. Okay, so this is just a quick test. Look at that. The 6900 XT in this scenario is way ahead. It's almost 10 frames per second ahead in 2D mode. And actually, let's just have a bit of a wild card here. We're now back in the 10900K RTX 3090, my faithful machine. And you know what, when it's all said and done, for me personally, I prefer this because I am using right now motion reprojection, super high settings, okay, in the Reverb G2, and you can see there it's sticking to 22.5 frames per second pretty well. But the more important thing is, in the headset, it is super smooth. Either way though, I think this shows that the AMD system really holds its own, and both systems are showing really good results. But let's be honest, we really need an RTX 6090. Take care, bye for now.